Let's review the future. The future is a great tense that we can use in Spanish to talk about our plans and predictions for the future. Very simple conjugation in the future. We're going to go over what the stems are, what the endings are, and of course the irregulars. And we'll finish up this video by talking about what does it mean? When do you use this verb tense? As you can see here in the chart, the verb hablar, comer, and vivir are being conjugated in the future. The really interesting thing about the future is that instead of using a stem of a verb that removes the ending ar, er, ir, this is a tense where we're actually going to keep the entire infinitive of the verb intact. So you can see on the verb hablaré, I will speak, we're keeping hablar and adding the a ending to the end. Or for the to form of comer, keep comer in the infinitive and add the as to the end. Or in the el, ella, usted form of vivir, keep the full infinitive, vivir, as your stem, and add the a ending to the end. One of the things that you'll note about the future is that the stem is different than other verb conjugations. This may sound repetitive, but really it's the only thing that students seem to have trouble with when conjugating in the future. Please remember that for your stem, you're going to use the entire infinitive of the verb, and that's what you're going to add the endings to. So there's nothing to memorize here with the stems. Let's take a look at the endings. These are the same endings that we're going to use for all verbs, including our irregulars. AR verbs, ER verbs, IR verbs, it doesn't matter. And again, these endings are added to the end of the infinitive. You'll note that a, as, a, is, and an all have accent marks. So please remember to include those accent marks in your conjugations. Because hemos is 2 syllables, it does not require the written accent mark. So memorize these forms. A, as, a, hemos, is, an. If it helps, these are very similar to the present tense forms of the verb haber that we are using in the present perfect. It's just minus the h. A, as, a, hemos, habéis, an. Here we just have a, as, a, hemos, is, an. So memorize these endings, and a great way to practice with this is go to the Quizlet set, make your own flashcards, read over all the examples in the packet, and see these conjugations in action. Of course, there are irregulars, so these are things that you'll want to memorize. Again, using a Quizlet set, doing some flashcards is a great way to help yourself memorize these. For these verbs, instead of using the infinitive as the stem, as we do for all other verbs in the future, you have to memorize these special stems. You will note they all end in an R. So the verb hacer becomes H-A-R. When you put it together with the regular endings for the future, the only endings for the future, you have the conjugations are, harás, hará, haremos, haráis, harán, to talk about what I will do, you will do, he will do, etc. Decir, the stem is D-I-R. Diré, dirás, dirá, diremos, diráis, dirán. Tendré means I will have. Podré, I will be able to. Vendré, I will come. Querré, I will want. Sabré, I will know, information or facts. The verb haber can also be conjugated in the future to either use for the future perfect, which we haven't really learned yet, or you can use habrá, which means there will be. It's very similar to when we use the verb I, H-A-Y, to say there is or there are. This is talking about what there will be in the future, habrá. You can also use caber as cabré, cabrás, cabrá to talk about what will fit. Poner becomes pondré, which means I will put. Salir, saldré, I will leave or go out. And valer means to be worth, so valdrá means it will be worth, or valdrán, they will be worth. So, again, just have to memorize these irregular stems, take a good look at them, maybe pattern together some of them that look similar to you, and just memorize them. Finally, let's make sure that we understand what the future means. When do we use it? I know it's shocking that you're using the future tense to talk about the future, but this is the tense we use to talk about what you will do and to predict what will happen. So if you see the word will in English, it's probably a good hint that you're going to be using the future. We use it as a helping verb. I will study, you will see, we will help, and we put it together with another main verb. In Spanish, we're just going to use this conjugation using the infinitive of the verb with those endings a, as, a, hemos, is, an to talk about what will happen in the future. Buena suerte!